let's talk about an engineering marvel that has stumped experts for literally centuries. What if the Great Pyramid of Giza just shouldn't be possible? What if this one single, silent structure completely challenges everything we think we know about the Bronze Age?
You know, our story really starts deep inside the pyramid itself, in this tiny, narrow shaft that's been sealed off from the rest of the world. It's a mystery that has sat there completely untouched for 4,500 years, and it just might hold the answers to questions we're only now smart enough to ask.
So, to get inside this ancient time capsule, researchers had to build a special robot to go on a journey into the pyramid's core. Can you imagine? It just inched its way forward into a space no human being had seen since the very day it was sealed. The hopes of historians and engineers all resting on this one little machine. And then, boom, there it was. A stone door. A dead end. You have to wonder, what secrets could possibly lie behind it? But before we can even begin to guess, we have to wrap our heads around the sheer, mind-bending scale of the monument itself. Because the challenge the builders faced was, by pretty much all accounts, impossible.
Okay, this is where the story just gets truly unbelievable. The structure itself seems to defy the known laws of Bronze Age engineering. It's not just that it's big, its precision is, well, it's almost alien for its time.
The pyramid is built from an estimated 2.3 million massive stone blocks. And listen, most of these weigh several tons each. We're talking the weight of a big car. To finish this thing in 20 years, they would have had to quarry, transport, and place one block every 5 minutes. Around the clock. This isn't a building. It's a man-made mountain, built on a schedule that is just relentless.
The total weight? A staggering 6 million tons. Now, trying to put that number in a modern context really challenges everything we think we know about engineering. We see our own time as the pinnacle of construction, right? Well, this ancient monument holds a pretty surprising record.
Get this. The Great Pyramid's mass is the same as 12 Burj Khalifas. You know, the tallest building on the planet? 12 of them. Just let that sink in for a second. This wasn't just some construction project. It points to a level of social organization, resource management, and just sheer collective will that we can barely comprehend today. And they did it all with copper chisels and human muscle.
So the big question is, how on earth did they do it? How do you quarry and shape millions of tons of rock with a level of precision that would make modern builders sweat, using only the simplest tools imaginable?
The foundation alone is an absolute engineering miracle. It covers 13 acres, that's about 9 football fields, and it is perfectly leveled to within just 2 centimeters. A modern skyscraper might have a tolerance of 5 centimeters. Think about that. They were more precise with water and string than we are today with lasers. It turns out they used an ingeniously simple solution. By digging a grid of trenches and filling them with water, they basically created the world's largest spirit level. Anything that was above the waterline got methodically chipped away by hand. So simple, but brutally effective.
Now, while most of the pyramid is limestone, the really crucial inner rooms, like the king's chamber, are built from massive 50-ton beams of granite. Granite is so incredibly hard, it practically laughs at copper tools. So, what was their secret?
The answer wasn't a better tool, it was a better process. They used a soft, toothless copper saw. But here's the trick. They added quartz sand as an abrasive. By sawing back and forth relentlessly for months on end just for one cut, the sand did the work the copper couldn't. It's just a testament to unbelievable patience and ingenuity. So now that the stones were cut, they faced an even bigger logistical nightmare. Moving millions of tons of this stuff across huge distances with no engines, no paved roads, nothing.
The high-quality limestone for the outside came from Tura, 250 kilometers away. The huge granite beams, even further south. This wasn't just a construction project. This was, hands down, the largest logistical operation in the entire ancient world.
So, what was their highway? The River Nile. They built this enormous fleet of special boats just to float these colossal stones, turning the seasonal floods into a perfectly timed conveyor belt for all their building materials. I mean, just think of the coordination required. Experts estimate that a dedicated army of at least 500 workers was needed just to load and unload a single one of the heavier blocks from the ships. All of this managed without a single spreadsheet or cell phone. But, you know,
Getting the stones to the Giza Plateau was only half the battle. Now they had to get them 480 feet into the air. That was a whole different challenge. This was it, the final monumental hurdle. How do you raise millions of tons toward the sky, block by heavy block, with absolutely nothing but ropes, sleds, and raw human power?
Well, while the exact design is still debated by archaeologists, pretty much everyone agrees it involved a system of enormous ramps. Whether it was one single long ramp, one that zigzagged up the side, or maybe even an internal spiral, the principle was the same. Turn an impossible vertical lift into a long, grueling pull for thousands of workers.
And this brings us right back to where we started. Back to that robot, the sealed shaft, and all the mysteries locked inside the most perfectly engineered structure of the ancient world. So the research team got their robot ready. They drilled a tiny, incredibly careful hole through that mysterious stone door, ready to peek into a chamber that had been sealed off from all of human history.
What it found on the other side was another sealed door, an enigma behind an enigma. This discovery, plus the detection of that massive, unexplained big void deep in the pyramid's heart, just makes the whole thing even more mysterious. We've seen the impossible engineering, the flawless logistics, so it makes you ask the question, what if this wasn't the work of a primitive civilization just getting started? What if the Great Pyramid represents a peak of ancient knowledge that we've since lost, a kind of technology we still struggle to understand?